Hi everyone, it's Heidi again. If you're wondering where I've been, I got pregnant, I was sick for 2 months, now I'm tired and I have thyroid problems, we're working on moving to a new location, but we are doing well and we're excited. And I got a new microphone, so let me know how it sounds. If you're not wondering where I've been, then awesome, let's continue with our first trip to Europe as an American. This is Denmark part 2. For part of our trip, we were able to drive from Copenhagen to Roskilde, if that's how you say it, to go to a Viking ship museum. Our friend Sin kindly drove us, and the drive was beautiful. It was so green. I loved that we got to get out of the big city a little bit. Something that I loved was the houses. The houses, the farther out you get from Copenhagen, the cuter the houses become. It's not very often here that you see straw roof houses, but they were so adorable. They didn't look trashy or poor or anything like that. They just looked homey and just kind of country cute. The other thing that I noticed that I've actually never seen before, there were some houses with black shiny tile. I think they were maybe metal? I'm trying to remember what Sin was saying, that it was good for insulation or something, but it looked really cool. I was mesmerized, honestly. I'd never seen that before. I don't think we have that here. Let me know if you have a shiny black tile roof. So, the Viking Museum. It was a pretty cold, brisk, cloudy day. I was freezing, but HailHeidi, he loved the weather. Almost right away, he said, I feel like I belong here. I feel like I was made for this. One of the first things we did was we got to row a Viking or sailing ship. HailHeidi was smiling the whole time. It was like one of the best parts of the trip for me. To row the ship, we had to sit in 2 columns on either side of the ship. We learned how to get really long oars out and into the water and to rope them off. I can't remember if it was the skipper or the captain. I think we had both. They had the 2 front people in both rows kind of lead how quickly we would row. The captain or skipper basically directed each side, the starboard side or the port side, to row forwards or backwards. I don't remember what words they used to row backwards or forwards, but we were on the starboard side, and as long as everyone was just following the movements of the person in front, everything was smooth. Sounds doable, right? I will never forget this one lady. She was right behind the guy in front on our side. She could not for the life of her and everyone else on this boat get in sync with the guy in front. She kept hitting the people next to her and it would throw off the entire row. I was laughing so hard. I thought it was so funny. It was like unbelievable. The captain had to personally come over to her. Okay, make sure to follow what the guy is doing in front of you. And she was fine for a little bit after that, but again, she started falling behind. I don't understand. By the end of the ride, I noticed that her oar was just sitting there. She wasn't even trying. It was probably some of the worst rowing I've ever seen in my life, and it happened to be on our boat, on our side. But it was entertaining, so I'll give her that. Something kind of exciting, but also I felt really bad, was while we were out there in the middle of the lake, I think it was the rudder. It goes like this, kind of underneath the back of the boat. It actually broke. After we came back in, they were saying that they usually use that to kind of steer the boat back into the dock, but we actually had to manually row and aim back to where we needed to park, I guess. Park the boat. Dock the boat? Yeah. But they said that we did a very good job of listening to directions, so. And we did not crash the boat. Our friend Sin recorded us for a bit, and that was really sweet of him. So he got some really cool, nice shots from a little bit farther away. After sailing, we ate at the little restaurant that they have at the museum. We got a fun little spread that, I don't know, it seemed kind of Viking-y to me. I doubt that it was incredibly accurate, but it was still a very fun vibe. The most important thing that we got at that restaurant though, and that we were really happy to see on the menu, was mead. Mead is something that HailHeidi and I have been trying to find, not very hard obviously, but we just haven't really come across it, and so we took that opportunity. And it was really good. It's just fermented honey, basically, for people who don't know, but I loved it. It was so sweet. You could definitely taste the honey, and they had a couple of different flavors. I think they had original, and I think they had, maybe it was cranberry or something like that, and both were very delicious. They're gorgeous too, like beautiful colors. I haven't tried very hard to find mead in Utah, but I want to. I feel like it's somewhere around here, but I just haven't found it yet. I had a follower of mine actually try and send some mead to us from Denmark, but something happened. I don't remember exactly. Customs maybe was not very nice, or something went wrong and we never got the mead. So if you guys know of any places in Utah, USA that has mead, let me know. Something that they do at this Viking ship museum is they take what they have found, pieces of ships, things like that, and they try and replicate it. But something that we learned on a tour that we went on at the museum was that there's not a lot that they've found, actually. When you look at the displays of actual Viking ship pieces that they have and have tried to put together, there are a lot of holes missing. So a lot of their ideas of how these ships were built is kind of a lot of guesswork. So that was really interesting. I didn't know that there were so many holes in this particular part of history, but I do love that despite the little amount of information and actual pieces they have, they try really hard to, and they actually do, make replicas as closely as they can so that people can walk on them, sail them, see how big they would have been as far as we know, just so we can get a little taste of what it might have been like. And they're beautiful, gigantic works of art. That was really fun to see. And something that I loved about going to this museum was that I didn't see any of those cliche, very inaccurate Viking horns that we see a lot here in the United States, I think. So that was lovely. Something else that I'll mention that wasn't really part of the museum, but just part of Denmark in general, and mostly Copenhagen, I think, going back to Copenhagen, was how many bikes there were. Obviously, Copenhagen is seen as a very big biking city, but it was really cool to see in real life. Growing up in America, haven't really been anywhere else outside of it. It was mind-blowing to me to see more bike lots where you can park your bikes than car lots. That was so weird. We always saw cars driving by, but we didn't see a lot of car parking lots. There were rows and rows of bikes though. And we only almost got hit by a bike one time. It's because we were crossing a bike path and HailHeidi is a foot taller than me and I can't see past him, so he had to kind of grab me. I couldn't see a bike coming, so he saved my life, but it was still kind of embarrassing. I felt very much like a tourist in that moment. Come to think of it, the place that we were walking to when that happened, we were walking to a food place, and that was the only place in all of Europe that we visited that asked if we wanted to leave a tip. And that felt weird, even after just being out of the United States for 2 weeks or so. Being asked for a tip was really strange. I really liked that about Europe. You guys probably already know this about me. But that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Even though this was last summer, thank you for still being interested in our experience. I'm still, when I can, loving talking to you guys about this stuff. So please share your thoughts, your experiences, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!